Right, if you would like to mute yourselves, unless you have anything exciting you'd like to add to our intro, and then if we get time at the end, we can chat some questions, anything that comes up. If there's anything desperate you really want to know, chuck it in the chat box, and I'm sure Annie will keep an eye on it because I'm not good at doing that at the same time as talking. And I'm a male, so if you've got anything pressing you want to know straight away, or wants to stop or go over something, or go back on the slide, we can always do that at the end, or just put it in the chat box. So we'll open it up as well. We're going to share a couple of slides, but there's really not much. Don't worry about writing anything down. So we're going to share the couple of the graphics we're going to send to you. One of the graphs we're going to send it to you in the WhatsApp groups anyway. So you don't need to draw it. You don't need to write it down. Don't feel you need to take loads of notes unless Annie says something wiser than me. So Shelley's here now. That's good. Yeah, cool. Right, okay, so welcome everybody. Welcome to our first kind of official, but our second Team Wow meeting or training, I guess. We've done these before, but we've kind of restarted them again on a Wednesday. So in place of this text blast on a Wednesday, to make it a bit more skills based. So on a Wednesday night, you're going to get a bit more skills based learning and training, and hopefully make it a bit of practical as well. So it can kind of keep you going throughout the week. You may have started well in the week and got to hump day, and you might need a little bit of extra kick to get to the weekend. So hopefully we are going to be one of the first of many useful sessions on Wednesday. So I'm Simon, this is Annie, and we've been in the business for, I think it's 6 to 7 years.
A year less than Hannah, so however longer Hannah has. 6, 7,
We've been
5,
7 then, right? Yeah.
6.
Yeah, so about that, yeah, we do it together really part-time. We're both primary school teachers, have been for, we've got about 20 years experience between us. So yeah, to give you a background there, Annie's got part-time now. So yeah, we're going to talk to you a little bit about something today, which we actually learned from Mastermind at the start of the year, and we've kind of adapted it and used it in our life and in UW. So we're going to talk to you about that now. And I'm going to share a screen with you, so you don't have to look at my hair.
Sorry if our laptop is wobbly, but it's actually balancing on a Tupperware box at the moment. So it's because the lid's underneath it, Simon, which isn't the best, but hey, it's really professional here.
Welcome to my life, guys. Welcome to my life.
Really profesh.
Whipped. Okay, right. Can you give me a thumbs up if you can see that lovely screen? It's not an official UW slide, but it is purple. Okay, cool. Right, so now, you may have seen this kind of title before. If you've been in the business a little while, you probably have. You heard someone say the slight edge. If you haven't, then it's something that will be really useful to you. So we're going to talk to you today about, or introduce you to, kind of a framework, if you like, called the slight edge principle. And it is exactly what it says on there. So it's a simple discipline, or simple disciplines repeated over time that will create success. Versus simple mistakes repeated over time, which will create failure. And we've all done that. We've all set ourselves up on simple disciplines and been really good at maybe at the start of the new year and did really well at keeping them going day after day. But then maybe we've repeated some of the same mistakes and led to failure in other areas. So we're going to talk a bit more about how you can structure that in a bit more visual way and help you plan that tonight to hopefully start, or maybe march on a slightly different path. So the slight edge principle is basically this. So we're going to talk about it a little bit of theory first now. So in direct selling, in network marketing, in the space that you guys have chosen to be in now, it's actually quite easy to be successful. Now, don't tell it the wrong way. It's easy, it's quite simple. It's actually simple to be successful because there's systems in place, and they're quite simple systems if you follow them. Now, the definition of simple is something you can do, okay? Or me, I saw that. Something you can do. We can all do these systems that UW put in place for us. And any direct selling business, there's always systems that we can all do if we just follow them. Most things in network marketing are simple to do. So if that's the case, why do we fail? And I say we fail because we fail on things daily. Our business is not failing, but we fail on parts of it regularly. Why do people fail? Why do people not achieve their goals? Why do they not get to where they want to be? Why do they drop out? Well, because these things are simple to do, but they're really simple not to do as well. And actually, they're simpler, they're easier not to do than they are to do. And that's not me saying that. That's a really that's a well-known phrase in our space. So that's why. And the difference between those two things is discipline. Discipline is the difference. Okay, it's going to show you. Have a look at this. So this quote by Jeff Olson is from the book The Slight Edge. So it says, the truth is, what you do matters. What you do today matters. We kind of know that. What you do every day matters. Successful people just do things that seem to make no difference in the act of doing them, and do them over and over and over and over again, until something called the compound effect kicks in. We're going to talk a bit more about that now. Okay. So what you'll see so it's really about the little things that make very little difference day to day, but over a period of time, there's a big difference. Have a look at this. So you can see here, life is on the left. This is a graph about our life, really simple graph about our life. If only our lives were looked that simple. But what you'll see is there's two differences. Each pathway leads to either success or failure. And that sounds really dramatic, doesn't it? Failure or success, but it does. In everything, every small or big thing we do, we're either heading for success in it or we're heading for failure in it. And it's those very small disciplines that we do every day that lead us to one of those two places. So, for example, let's look at utility warehouse. Let's look at utility warehouse. So, for example, let's say that I commit to contacting one person a day. Really simple to do, one person a day. It's also really simple for Annie not to do. So this is the way our business works, of course. So a simple discipline for me is to contact one person a day. A simple error in judgment for Annie is to maybe do that, but not write it down, not set it as a target. Now, on day one, I've contacted one person, Annie hasn't contacted anybody. Our businesses aren't particularly different. We don't look very different. I'm not better at network marketing than she is. Day 3, day 5, probably even day 7 or 8, maybe 10. Our businesses don't look that much different for the long term. Okay, I haven't retired yet, I haven't bought my new Ferrari yet, and Annie isn't on the breadline yet, and she hasn't had to move out of her house. So, but what happened, the difference being, I've committed to doing that simple thing every day, over and over and over again. Annie, for example, has committed, she doesn't know she's committed, she hasn't written down that I'm going to have simple errors of judgment every day, but she has, because she hasn't committed to it. And what that will eventually lead to is something different to what I'm going to get. So yeah, first off, we're just planting the seeds. We're cultivating that behaviour. I'm cultivating simple disciplines. She's unfortunately cultivating. That's a good one, right? I said don't write notes, but that's a good one. Cultivating simple errors.
Just to clarify, this is hypothetically speaking, isn't actually how it goes. Mm.
Yes.
We won't talk about that. We'll see our DMOs. We'll see it in a minute.
Yeah, we'll look at our charts in a minute. So now, yes, in the first 10 days, it can make a lot of difference. However, by doing those simple disciplines over and over and over again, there's a tipping point. And that's where the kind of the slight edge, the compound effect kicks in, because that momentum builds. And then what happens is those curves change. So our curves change. Okay, and our curves change quite frequently, don't they? Your curves, you're going to talk about that later. Sorry, she'll thank me for that later. Okay, so now 80% of the time we're on that lower part, but what's happened is me doing though by day 15, day 20, one text a day, maybe even more, because I've got into that habit now. What I start to see is I start to see confidence in myself. I start to see some results coming in. I start to see some positive habits and positive thoughts about my business. And then my team, maybe in 30 days time, when I'm starting to maybe comment on the groups and they start to see my activity, that starts to have a knock-on effect to them as well. So it starts to snowball, it starts to compound. Whereas simple errors of judgment in the first few days doesn't really make a lot of difference, does it? Okay, it doesn't make a lot of difference, but over a period of time, there's a tipping point for that as well. And a compound effect kicks in with those errors of judgment. And then Annie, hypothetically speaking, might start to see things like a lack of belief. She starts, I can't do this, I'm not very good at this. Her confidence starts to dip. Her team might stop working. Oh, Annie's not doing it, so I don't need to do it. And eventually, the excuses will come, and this business doesn't work for me will start to happen. So early days, those simple disciplines are not important. Seemingly, they don't look important, but they are a little bit later. So that's kind of explains the compound effect. Annie's going to Hello.
Distracted.
Sorry.
Sorry.
It's your go, okay?
Yeah.
So that kind of gives you a bit of the theory behind it. Annie's going to do a bit more practical about what it actually looks like and what we want you guys to start working on.
Okay, yeah. So we at Mastermind, it was Art Joan Act that we really listened to, and it hit a nerve, and we were like, oh, we have to do this. So this is what we're going to be doing today, and this is what we've been doing in our business since beginning of January.
Yes.
And we'll show you our results in a minute and show you how it's been working and not working.
Yeah.
But this is the DMO, Daily Method of Operation Graph Success Chart.
You're going to get sent this, guys, so don't need to write it.
We'll send you this. So across the middle there on the graph, the numbers that go up represent time. The success line to the right is success, and down to the right is failure. So we have committed to doing 3, and you can do 2, you can do 5, you can do 7 if you want 1. We've committed to doing 3 daily slight edge actions. So what we do is we've set our 3 actions. Now, Simon and I have split ours into life and business, and they're 2 separate things, but I can tell you that they massively impact each other. And we have committed daily to doing them. So I'm going to try and do this. I did this earlier and it was really successful. You wouldn't tell I'm a teacher and I can draw on whiteboards. So say for day 1, my daily slight edge action was to contact 1 potential customer. We had a big argument about this, didn't we? It's this box you would colour in if you'd got it right?
Yeah, absolutely. Don't get too hung up on this. Like I did.
We had a huge discussion the first day.
I didn't start for a couple of days because
you didn't know how to colour it in properly. So if you do your first thing on the first day, you colour it in. The next day, if you do it, you colour in the next box. Right and up if you keep being successful. The minute you aren't successful, you colour in the box down to the left, and then down to the left again, and then down to the left again. And it really has an impact on how you do things and what you see. So what we're going to get you guys to do today, this evening, is to think about your 2, 3. I'd say 3.
3 is a minimum.
3 is a minimum. I feel like 5 probably is a maximum. I mean, if you want to do loads, then do. But the point is that you need to be making sure that you colour in a box when you have successfully completed all 3 slight edge actions. So I'm going to show you my one. So these are mine. So obviously I've put a lovely heart on mine. So I've got a life one and a business one. So my life one, so I started the new year wanting to lose weight. So mine is as you can see, 1 bit of exercise, 30 minutes, 1 bit of personal development. That's when I started listening to Glennon. As you can see, it's gone like upwards, and 1 house chore. So I want to talk about this. Simon said I need to do this. Go and get my belt. So now I'm going to show you now. So every day, as you can see on my life one, I have completed all 3 slight edge actions. So that has meant that I can physically, I'm just saying at the beginning. So I can see that physically going up in front of my eyes, and then it becomes so bloody hard to break it. And I think I know exactly what that day was. It was our little girl's 2nd birthday, and I thought, I'm eating cake today, I'm not doing exercise. Anyway, so my however many days is that, 20, 30, 28 days of doing a bit of exercise, doing a bit of personal development, doing house chore. So this is my belt. I know it's really weird. This is my belt back in the beginning of January. So 2 days ago, I had to ask Simon, this is after January, to put 2 new holes in my belt, because that's how much, and I'm not saying this because I want to show you how much weight I've lost, but I've had to go 2, thanks Kerry, cheers, 2 holes up on my belt. I had to actually draw them in, and that is because I've seen these slight edge actions like paying off, and it's a little bit every day that are going to help. So, and the business one, I just need to move everyone away. So commenting in groups at least once a day, reconnecting twice daily with someone, and speaking to at least 2 people about the business. So these are mine, and they're things that I needed to do in order to make our business more successful. Yours could be different. yours could be speaking to one person, yours could be having 3 appointments a day. It's all relevant and is, you know, what's the word? Well, relevant to you. I remember speaking to Hannah when I set my DMOs and going, oh no, it's really sad that I'm speaking to just 2 people about the business. I know I could do more. And she was like, hold on a second. If you speak to 2 people a day for 31 days, that's 62 people you're going to speak to that you haven't spoken to already, and more that I wouldn't have spoken to already. I wouldn't have spoken to anyway if I wasn't doing this. So that's what we're going to get you to do. So set you up. Do you want me to show you yours as well?
You can do, yeah.
So
I'll talk more about mine in a minute.
These
so
assignments.
If you're feeling a bit inferior by Annie's life one, then don't worry. I'm here to balance everything and to show you mine, which I'll write side by side with Annie's. Mine are a little bit more, yeah, maybe manageable. So mine are the same. Mine don't look as pretty. I don't feel prettiness is a key thing here. Annie does. So on the left-hand side, you see my UW1, and my right-hand side, the life one. So I did 3 prospecting contacts minimum, personal development. I only did 10 pages of 15 minutes a day. Because I do audio, sometimes I do book. I find it really difficult to get going on it. So I did that as a minimum, and a team member contact, because I just forget to do that, and it's a really bad thing on my part. So I need that visual reminder every day, and started really well. And you can see that my journey is kind of an up and a down, which is brilliant for me because I have to visually see what I'm doing. So I don't think, well, I did all right. I did 4 days. The last 4 days, I think I've been all right. So I think I'm going well. It's going well. This is a visual thing for me, and I can see it every day when I make a cup of tea, and I have this kind of guilt, if you like.
I didn't say that yet. It's on our kitchen cupboards, so we've got them there up in front of us.
I would show you, but our cupboards, our worktops are a mess. And I've got my life one over there, which I think was, and I'm going to explain a bit more about how you can get around the detail on this. An exercise session, which here I wasn't specific, and I'll explain that in a minute. Meditate, which is something that I needed to do to really focus on my other actions. I'll talk more about that in a minute. And a house chore from our list. We have a list of chores, a hinge list, if you like, where we need to tick off. So, and mine was very, very up and down until a certain part. And I think actually where these started to pick up again for me, they started to dip up and down, which is generally my life. So the first half of it was a really good indication of what life is currently like. Then it started to pick up, and where it started to pick up is where compound effect of Annie's started to kick in, I think. Or where we're both bouncing off each other for the business, and we had some new people start, some new people join, and then it started to pick up. So it does work, but as I said, to start with, in those first 10 days, we looked quite similar. We were still doing the business, we were still doing things, but it wasn't until later where Annie really started to accelerate, and I wasn't quite so much. But we're going to talk a bit more about setting those now. We're going to give you some time.
The other thing I would say is, for me, I'm the most competitive person, like against myself as well. It's ridiculous. So for me to see this visually, and if anyone's the same as me, it was really necessary to see, and especially having Simon's next to mine. I'm very competitive. So I'm going to stop screen sharing for a moment, and what we would like you to do for how long?
I don't think it takes long. We'll do 5 minutes, and then we'll see how long 5 minutes, and we'll see how long we need.
So minimum, you can unmute yourselves, you can chat about it if you want to. Set yourself 3 daily things that you're going to do, that you need to do to improve your business. Slight
edge actions. Now, if you're anything like me, if someone asked me to do that on one of these calls, I would go to, I'll just look like I'm doing it. I'll do it later when I get off the call, because I want to just write it just right. And I need to think about it, I need to look at my schedule. Don't do that, because you won't start, or you'll leave it till next Monday when it's the 1st, or when the day is an even number, or you can't start things on a Wednesday. Don't do that. We're going to give you 5 minutes now. Just the first 3 actions that you think are going to make a difference to where you are now, to where you might be in 30 days' time. Just jot them down. No detail, just jot them down in rough on your paper now. So have a bit of time to think about it. We'll just kind of chat we'll say some ideas as you're doing, but write them down. You're not going to have to share them, but spend 5 minutes now writing 3 slight edge actions minimum.
Feel free to share them if you want to. Or
you
chat
can do
if you want to.
3 UW ones and 3 life ones like we do if you want to.
I found it easier to do life and the business separately, but I don't know, maybe if I'd put them together, I would have seen more of a wiggle, and it would have peed me off more.
Maybe. But as you know, UW putting all these wellness benefits in for us at the moment shows the emphasis. Actually, we think it's really important to have a life or wellness DMOs and UW1 because they're not separate at all. You'll probably see that if you look at it in more detail, if you really analyse them over a couple of months, you'll see the dips in your life probably then follow with the dip in your UW1. But that's something if that interests you later on. So yeah, have a little think. So it could be anything. It could be a daily team contact. It could be.
Don't worry, Katie and Grace, we would contact you anyway.
A new prospect, one new prospect a day, or add 2 people to my list. Have a little think. Have a little write some down. We'll give you 5 minutes. If I think of anything else, if you've got any questions, chuck them in the chat or on me if you want any help with this.
Hi, Kerry.
Hi, I just thought if it made anyone feel better, because I've been doing this since January as well, and I had a really good time in January of it, and my sheet was looking great, and then February happened, and I just thought I'd just share.
Oh yeah, brilliant.
Mine look really good. So mine,
brilliant.
Last week I had a real shocker.
Half term.
It was half term, but my slight edge action, so it was 10 touches a day, checking with one partner and speak to someone about the business, call or text every day. Now, actually, I know that I did between 6 and 10 touches every day last week. So, and I did check in with a partner every day, and I did speak to somebody about business, but because I didn't do those 10 touches, it still went down.
Yes.
So it was just to say that you don't need to beat yourself up if it goes down.
Yeah.
But it's also a really nice way to make sure that you know you're doing something anyway.
And we're going to talk.
And then that's my life one as well.
Ah, nice. But so Kerry, when you got the other one, when you got down to that kind of dip, was there a tipping point the other way where you realised, oh shit, right, okay,
yeah,
because you can see it, can't
you?
Yeah,
it was horrible.
Because was it the voice note you left me swearing?
What fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, and we're going to talk a bit more in a minute about a way you can manage that, because you put 10, but you did 6 or 7.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk in a minute a bit more about how you can play with that a little bit. But for now,
what we're going to
do what your target would be, guys. And then we're going to play on what Kerry just said there, because it's a really useful comment. Thank you, Kerry. Love it.
Pleasure.
See, they don't all need to be up. See,
they do for me.
Kerry's in my camp.
Oh, you wait until March. Mine is going to be.
Also, wait till we go back to school until we're not at home. My fitness one will definitely change. 100%.
So give it a couple more minutes. Is everyone okay? Do I need any help with that? Any more ideas? So it could be personal development. If you're not very particularly good, these need to be things that are going to slightly push you out your comfort zone. If you're comfortable with these things, then don't put them on your list, because you're probably going to be in the same. If you keep doing the same things you're doing now, you're going to get the same results.
Isn't that the definition of insanity? Is that what they say?
Well, I'm already that. But
is that it? Is that what they say, Hannah? Yeah.
But so these need to be things that are going to push you, obviously, but they need to be achievable as well. Okay.
Literally like 1 more minute, and then we're gonna.
But just get 3 down for now. If you've done UW, done life, great. We're going to add a bit more detail to that in a minute. So it could be personal development. Could be.
Hannah, are you doing this? Oh.
Could be.
Just felt you would,
No, I just thought I'd say, well, you guys will need to do this. I don't.
Could be to log onto the portal every day. I need to do that.
Yeah.
I need to go up to 5, because I just sometimes I got to have a habit of just logging onto the portal. When things are quiet, you don't do it, but actually it makes a big difference. Just that one touch of the business, if I log onto the portal, you'll be surprised about how that starts your day slightly differently.
I think I'm going to amalgamate mine in March.
Huh?
I'm going to amalgamate. I'm going to do life and business together.
Do I have to do that?
No. Because it's easy to do my life one, because I.
Okay, we'll try that.
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry, guys.
Getting a bit deep. Right.
Okay.
Everyone put your hands on your head when you've got your 3. Yes. Good, guys. Well done, Katie.
She's getting back into it. She's getting back to school next week.
Typical Katie. Right.
So, you've got your 3. Great. I don't think we need to share. We can put our screen back. Is our screen still sharing?
No.
It isn't, is it? Right. I'm just going to put that back on so you don't have to look at our faces and you can see. Okay. So, let's have a little. Why isn't that moving?
It's a click.
Oh yeah.
Good.
How's that working? You don't have to be any good at anything.
Can I do it?
Yeah, why not?
So what
Okay, so you've got 3, great, okay, and that will start you off. You can do 5, you can do more than that, but if you're worried about this, first month, maybe just try 3. You can always add to it later. I actually added something else on halfway through the month to my DMOs. So,
something weird's happening. I'm just not going to share them.
so with those 3, it's quite easy, like Kerry was saying, to go down. What you'll see on our graphs though, we didn't really often, between us, we didn't go down more than 1 or 2 in spaces in succession usually, because we had the competition and visually we could see, and it had that kind of it had that effect on us, that was visually seeing it dropping down day after day had an effect. So that's one benefit of having it there, and having that on one side of the room and our vision board on the other side of the room, where Dulcie points to the Disney castle every day and says, I want to go there.
And says, I like skiing.
And I want to go skiing. She has no idea what skiing is. Having those 2 things in the kitchen makes it, oh, hang on, I can't go down today. So it makes a big difference. Now, what we found is, though, like Kerry was saying as well, mine is, it's an exercise session, it's a meditation, and it's a house chore. And a house chore is easy. I've put 1 house chore. But what I was finding is, I should be doing 15, I might have done a 5-minute meditation, and what I planned to do a 10-minute one, so therefore I wouldn't tick it off, because maybe Dulcie came into it, and or I could hear the dog kicking off downstairs. We've got a puppy and a baby, and I could hear carnage downstairs, and I stopped my meditation, and therefore I went down because I didn't complete it. Or I had a really busy day, I did a really long dog walk, where I had to run after the dog, but didn't get in the gym, because I said my exercise session was in the gym. So therefore I went down. So, and sometimes I found that quite difficult, because, or I may have actually contacted 2 really good prospects, and I put 3. And I spoke to 4, I did a team training, so I spoke to 5 team members, but they might not have been in my team. So you have to give yourself, if you're one of those people that would take that as a negative, you need to give yourself a little bit of leeway. And a way to do that is by the ones you've set now, maybe as your target. So my target, my middle target, is 3 prospects a day, my 15 minutes personal development as a minimum target, and speak to a team member at least once a day. However, some days that is totally impossible. My fitness one is totally impossible, or I just didn't fit it in. So I'll do myself a minimum. So I split, now next month we're going to split a mini, a midi, I have trouble with this, and a maxi. And my midi is my target. I'm aiming for my target, my midi. But I have a midi, like Kerry, for example, said she had 10 contacts a day. That's massive. And her business is going to fly if she gets 10 contacts a day. But that life gets annoying. That's going to be unachievable. And she's going to kick herself for failing if she gets to 6.
Or 9, which would be really.
6 is massive. And it's probably massive for her because she set herself a massive target. So perhaps Kerry might then change for next month to make 6 her mini, or 5 her mini target. So as a very minimum, she needs to do 5, but she's aiming for 10. As a very minimum, I need to do 5 minutes meditation, but I'm aiming for 15 minutes as a target. So then if I do get interrupted, I've still done it. Because especially in the early days, we're just trying to get these daily habits, those daily disciplines that we know we can do over and over and over again. Okay? It's really important to get that, particularly in your first 30 days. If you really want to push, you could do a mini, a midi, which is the ones you've just written down now, which you're aiming for, and you could do a maxi as well to really boost yourself. So rather than my 15-minute exercise session in the gym a day, it might be or 20 minutes. It might be a 30-minute hit, or it might be a 20-minute gym session and a run with a dog. That's my maximum. So I've got it there, and I can aim for it. And if I'm feeling good, I might go, do you know what? I'm going to go push for that today. So I'm breaking it into 3 sections, but each of those 3 push me out of my comfort zone. So that mini isn't to give you a break or to give you a bit of a, oh, it's okay, if I just do that, it's fine. If those minis don't move your business forward or move your life forward, then they shouldn't be on there.
Okay, so you have hopefully all got your midis. Yeah? Yeah. Hopefully 3. We are going to, Hannah, is this correct? Start a WhatsApp group.
No, I've said that. It's my bit.
I know.
So.
All right. Oh, you're talking about it. I'm not.
No, I just thought you'd missed the conversation.
No.
Sorry guys,
Jesus Christ,
I'm
sorry
in trouble
guys.
for that later.
We are going to open up a WhatsApp group for our DMOs, so we can share them if you want to. Similar to the consistency chain group, I know lots of you are in the consistency chain group, but it's kind of a new thing for March. We're going to start it on the 1st of March. That's okay, Hannah and you. I'll put a link into the group and we can share how it's going. That is kind of us done. So if you've got any questions, feel free to unmute yourselves, or any abuse,
If you want repeated,
any comments.
we're going to put that graph in your WhatsApp group, so you can just print it if you don't want to be in a group. The group is really just if you want to be in it. We'll put a link in there if you want to share how you're getting on.
Bit of accountability.
Have a look at other people's that it's also going down. It's fine. We're going to do that. If you want to be in it, you don't have to be. If you want to invite your team to it, and we'll post this training again or whatever, so people can update. We can do that. So, anyone got any questions? Anyone want to repeat anything? Haven't got any ideas? You can add to it. Put them in the chat if you don't want to say it out loud.
I like to say worries.
Grace's mic's off.
Anxiety. Oh, here she comes. Here she. Grace, is that like sitting in a sixth form lesson?
Yeah, just it all came back. My question is, at the moment I've got the every day of the month for the consistency chain.
Yep.
Do you sort of have you put your consistency chain within this, and do you pack it with this?
I've packed mine the same. Actually, since I've done this, my consistency chain activity is less than my DMO activity. So I actually know that if I do my DMOs, I'm doing my consistency. So actually, if you want to keep, you could say your consistency chain is your mini. You could do if you want to, and your DMOs is your midi. It doesn't. Yeah, it's up to you. But
you haven't got like another chart for your.
I haven't, because it just gets a bit ridiculous. But if you know that you're still keeping up with that, you want to keep up with that, it's fine. That's not to take away from that. But this kind of is a version of that. They're all slight edge actions. So, and if you're doing one, you're probably doing the other anyway.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
The other thing I don't know if we did touch on or say is that I'm finding it really interesting. I don't know if we did say it, tell me if we did. But I know that after like 2 or 3 months of doing this, we're going to see what it is that stops us doing things. So I know full well I will have a knockback and go down one, and then I'll go, no, I can do this, and do like 3 sets up, and then have a knockback. So I am going to be able to, in a couple of months' time, 3 months' time, I'm going to know where we need to work on, which areas we need to work on, and what's stopping us from achieving our goals.
Yeah. If you're particularly data driven or you're particularly green, you might want to, you can colour the squares in if you want to. If you want your midis to be red and your midis to be yellow and your maxes to be green, then you can, if you like data, at the end of your first month, you'll be able to see, hang on, I've mostly done my minis.
Grace is smiling.
That's great. Love it. And get your highlighters out. You have to, and Grace would have to do those colours. The dog needs to wait. But if you like that idea, and you're actually, I've mainly done minis. The next month, I'm going to aim for, I don't know, 80% of it being maxes, whatever.
I'm just going to go with the dog.
I'm going to do the dog. That's my cue to stop talking.
So that's us done, guys. If you want to, I don't know, say anything, moan at us.
I was going to say one of the things that Art was saying about it in training is that they're really great to take to your one-to-ones with your upline or your mentor as well. So they can say to you, can you bring your DMO sheet and we can see where things are going wrong, and you will know if you're doing it or not. And he said if it's all coloured in perfectly, like, I'll just quickly do the few days, then he'll know that you're not doing it, or you'll know your upline. So it's quite good to take to your one-to-one sessions as well, so you can see where things have gone wrong and how you can adapt it as well. Thank you. It was an awesome session. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, very much.
10 more seconds, sorry.
Fabulous, thank you.
If you've got children, they don't do the business, but you can do this with them as well. So if it's if they've got one chore a day or whatever, they've done their chores, they go up. They don't do the chores, they go down. Anything like that, and there's a reward in the 30 days if they're above the failure line or whatever.
That's what your chore is.
That's basically what mine is. But
is.
it means you've got someone else's accountability, but it might be for different reasons. So yeah, maybe try it with the kids, the chores, whatever like that. So yeah,
Or the husband.
just get them into good habits. I'm done.
Cool.
Thank you, guys. Hope that was okay and helpful.
Message us if you need anything or want to add anything.
We'll post the graph in the group. We'll post a link to the group if you want to join a DMO group, just to have a look at how everyone else is doing. Have a good evening. Hope that was helpful. Text us if you need anything else.
Brilliant. Thank you very
Amazing.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.